Thank you for the warm welcome again. I need some notice sheets. I'm not a native speaker in English like Max or Barnett, so sorry for that. On behalf of FC Augsburg, I want to thank you, the organizers of the Sports Global Industry Conference, for the invitation. It's a pleasure to be here, and I hope I can inspire you with my presentation for FC Augsburg. My name is Jakob Kunz, and I'm responsible for social media and club TV at FCA. And today I want to give you an insight into the role social media plays at FCA and how we use social media for fan relationship and fan engagement. Actually, I wanted to greet you in Korean, but my Korean is much too bad for that, so I have found someone who will do it for me and whom all of you know very well, I think.
안녕하세요. FC 아우스부르크에서 활약하고 있는 축구선수 고자철입니다. 우선 2018년도 글로벌 스포츠산업 컨퍼런스에 저희 FC 아우스부르크를 초대해 주셔서 굉장히 감사드리고요. 이곳에서도 굉장히 한국에 대해서 관심을 갖고 있고 저희가 또 저와 그다음에 지동원 선수가 같이 한국 선수 2명이 활약하고 있기 때문에 굉장히 한국에 대해서 흥미를 갖고 있고 관심을 갖고 있고 또 한국에 대해서 이미지를 굉장히 또 좋게 생각하고 있고요. 그런 부분에 대해서 아우스부르크 팀이 그곳에서 프레젠테이션을 할 수 있는 기회를 얻었다는 것에 대해서 이렇게 영상을 찍게 됐고요. 중요한 거는 저희 팀이 한국을 굉장히 사랑하고 한국에 대해서 굉장히 존중하고 관심을 갖고 있기 때문에 여러분들도 조금 더 귀를 기울여 주시고 조금 더 관심을 가져 주셨으면 좋겠습니다. 저희 역시도 아우스부르크와 그리고 대한민국 스포츠 산업에 대해서 항상 응원하겠습니다. 감사합니다.
Yeah, I have no idea exactly what Ku said, but I hope you enjoyed it. By the way, that's one of the main reasons why we use social media and why social media is so important to us to interact with the audience. This is a brief overview of the topics I would like to present in my presentation. I will show you the basis on which FCA operates social media, briefly introduce you to the various channels, and then give you an insight into how we understand social media at FCA using many practical examples. Finally, there's a summary of a best case of our retro match day, which took place only 4 weeks ago. But before we start thematically, I brought a little present with me. I have here 2 jerseys of Ku and Chi, and 2 of you who can answer this question correctly until the end of the presentation will have the chance to win one of these jerseys for free. So take your time, maybe use Google, whatever. I will choose 2 of you at the end of the presentation. G, does it
여러분을 위해 작은 선물을 가지고 왔습니다. 구자철 선수와 제가 FC 아우스부르크에서 총 몇 골을 넣었는지 지금까지 맞히시는 한 분께 이 프레젠테이션이 끝나고 난 후에 직접 사인을 한 유니폼을 선물로 드리겠습니다. 행운을 빕니다.
So, good luck. I think every one of you knows the story from the Bible between David versus Goliath, here illustrated. If you transfer this illustration to the Bundesliga, little David embodies FC Augsburg in terms of digital reach, and big Goliath embodies the big players like Bayern, Dortmund, or Schalke. And you see the massive reach they generate here, and the reach of the FC Augsburg. There's a massive gap, but yeah, this is also an illustration for the sporting success, of course. You can transfer it to it too. And by the way, it also reflects the size of the companies. For example, FC Bayern has more than 400 employees, while FCA at the moment has around 40. And even Mainz, for example, which is at eye level with FCA, has around 100 employees. So we at FCA are like one big family where everyone helps everyone. And I don't want you to misunderstand these pictures. We are not rivals in digital business. On the pitch, yes, we are. In digital business, no. We even see each other as multipliers and communicate with each other via our social media channels. But what I actually want to express with this picture is that we, as supposedly small club, with a smaller reach, with a smaller budget and only a slingshot in our hands, are as good as the big players with a huge reach, with a huge budget, and shield and a sword. And sometimes we even land a victory against them. So we manage this digitally with creative content and unique ideas, and on the pitch with passion, cohesion, and team spirit. Because we don't have this huge reach, we have to try even harder to differentiate ourselves from the others with creative ideas, and I will show you many examples how this can work. At first, a short overview of our social media channels. We post on Facebook, of course, with a global page in 4 languages, German, English, Korean, and Japanese, and a reach of 246,000. We use YouTube for the entire video content of the club. Of course, Instagram, which is currently certainly one of the most important channels, especially in the young target groups. Twitter, of course, also in the 4 languages as mentioned. Google+. And 3 months ago, we launched our own account at Giphy, which works really great and has already achieved more than 14 million views in these 3 months. At FC Augsburg, we have also defined various values according to which we live and act, both offline and online. And which every employee of the club has internalized. From the president to the cleaning lady to the intern, everybody at the club lives by these values. These values are down-to-earth attitude, close contact to fans or approachability, family, togetherness, local regional anchoring, tradition, and team spirit. On the basis of these values, we have drawn up various guidelines according to which we structure our social media work. And the first guideline is we try to speak the user's language, both literally and figuratively. This is an example of how we try to speak the user's language. The post cannot be translated literally into English, but we have tried to use teenage slang here. This phrase was voted Youth Word of the Year last year in Germany, and we resorted to it after winning at home. For that, you have to know that our stadium always glows green after a home win. And the post means as much as hello, I am a home win, and was teenage slang, as mentioned, worked very, very well. The second example was 3 years ago and comes from our first participation in the Europe League, here before our home match against Liverpool. In Liverpool, a special English dialect is spoken, which is called Scouse, and we have tried to show respect to the Liverpool guest fans by speaking their language and have translated some funny German idioms and phrases into English, but not into English, but into Scouse. And that was incredibly successful and was so well received that we couldn't save ourselves from positive messages from Liverpool fans, especially on Twitter. Here you can see a few examples. Your social media campaign for the tie is top class, you never walk alone. FCA are fast becoming my favorite club in Germany. Fantastic, I might support Augsburg instead, which is a really nice message from a Liverpool fan. Augsburg may be the most respectful club we've ever played. And so on the top, Danke Augsburg. So English fan answered in German. Also nice, and falling in love with this club already. So that shows if you meet the nerve of the users of the target group, also via the language on social media, it absolutely pays off. The most important KPI for FCA for successful social media work or campaigns is the interaction rate. Reach is good, but interaction is better. And if the users don't deal with your content and don't react to them, your content is worth nothing. So that's why we try to aim to engage the community with all our content. Every time we consider, is the content that good that the users react to it, and only then we implement something. A fairly recent example you see here, that's a normal photo of our coach, head coach Manuel Baum, who is cheering after we scored a last-minute goal against Bayern Munich. It's not long ago. And we won a point with it, and we thought the photo would be funny, so we produced a clipping by Photoshop and called the users to a so-called Photoshop battle. And we posted that on Facebook and Twitter, and not only the users jumped on it, but also other media and channels took up the topic. So we did not only achieve virality, but also engaged and entertained our community with funny and creative content. Also some examples. Yeah, that was one we posted on the first comment. And here is Superman, Manuel of Steel. His first name is Manuel. Also funny, the special called for James Bond. Manuel Baum showing Cristiano Ronaldo the red card. As a Jedi Knight. As Super Mario, Usain Bolt. Or Super Bowl, catching the football before Tom Brady does it. So, yeah, worked also very well. Our content must be relevant for it to go online. That's why we try to create content that adds to the user's experience, creates emotions, and is authentic. An example are our graphics, which we designed specifically for each channel. And in order to guarantee this quality permanently, we have also hired our own art director. On the one hand, this creates a high quality picture of all our channels. On the other hand, the user gets content played out that he can't find anywhere else. Based on these graphics, we also offer wallpapers to the users, which they can download on their own devices. And for example, on Instagram stories, this works very, very well because you can also encourage interaction and to ask users to post screenshots with their new wallpapers on their devices to show us how much they love FC Augsburg. Our gifts at Giphy, of which we are very proud of, and which also enjoy a great popularity in the community, also offer an absolute added value. With the use of the GIFs, our users can let their idols speak for themselves and send them to their friends via Facebook, Facebook Messenger, Twitter, Instagram, whatever. So we managed to engage the users and generate a large reach for FCA with funny content. And the GIF with the floss dance, for example, of Kevin Danzo is one of our most popular ones and most successful ones, more than 1 million views within the last 3 months. In order to be able to communicate authentically and have relevant content, it is of great importance for us to intensively involve our players and the management into our social media work. That's how we got players to create their own content and make it available for us to share it on our channels. This is very well received by the community because users notice that the content comes directly from their idols and was created by the players themselves. On the left side, Ku, who has sent us a picture before departure on a flight back after we won a away game in Hanover. In the middle, you can see our youngsters, Kevin Danzo and Marco Richter, which anticipation before starting into the training camp or a team evening with some of our players. Same example, the users can participate on the private life of the players. They send us photos of their private vacation in the summer break, or on the right side, team event in Las Vegas. Further example of, best case how we involve the players in our social media communication comes from the Europe League again. In this case, before our away match against Liverpool, we used or took the world famous photo of the Beatles walking down the Abbey Road in Liverpool as an opportunity to recreate it with our players on the left side, and we posted the resulting content with the hashtag "You will never walk alone," alluding to the hymn of FC Liverpool on our Twitter account. And this again had a huge impact and brought us great sympathy on the part of the Liverpool fans, because it was seen as a sign of or a gesture of respect. Some examples, of course. Brilliant gesture, this by FC Augsburg, can't wait for the match day. Gotta love FC Augsburg, seemed like a club full of class and passion. My new favorite Germany team, or really looking forward to going up against Augsburg this week. They seem like a really nice and respectful club. Of course, we Germans may not be known very well for our strong sense of humor, but in Augsburg we have humor, and we also can laugh at ourselves. No one takes themselves too seriously, which also gives us the opportunity to create self-ironic and self-deprecating content in our social media work. I would like to show you a video that expresses this topic very well. The video was a message for our fans before Christmas, to wish them Merry Christmas, and in a very humorous way. You have to know that the surname of Manuel Baum, of our head coach, in English means tree, like a Christmas tree. And in Germany and under the Christians, it is tradition that you have a Christmas tree on Christmas, under which the presents are placed. I anticipate the punchline so that the video is easier to understand. We have turned Manuel Baum, our head coach, into a Christmas tree. In addition to that, our players have expressed some self-deprecating wishes. For example, our Austrian defender, Martin Hinteregger, who comes from the mountains from Austria. He loves skiing, and he wishes the winter break should go 3 months long, that he has the chance to go skiing. But see for yourself.
Okay, Jungs, letzte Einheit vor Weihnachten. Haben gut gearbeitet bisher. Wisst aber, dass trotzdem noch eine harte Saison, eine harte Rückrunde vor uns steht. Deswegen schreibt eure Wünsche auf euren Weihnachtszettel. In der Kabine steht ein Baum, da legt es dann drunter und dann erholt euch in der Winterpause, sodass wir schön in die neue Saison wieder reingehen können. Gut, danke.
Hey, wisst ihr, was ihr euch zu Weihnachten wünschen sollt?
Oh, ich weiß noch nicht, was ist du?
Ich weiß auch nicht, Alter. Schießen kann ich schon, Alter. Ich weiß wirklich nicht, Alter. Punkte?
Ja, Punkte können wir uns nicht mehr wünschen, oder?
Ja, machen wir Österreicher. Mehr Österreicher brauchen wir.
Ich wünsche mir endlich mal ordentlich Friseur. Ja?
Ich wünsche mir den Halil zurück, dass ich hier nicht mehr der älteste Spieler bin.
Immer Flanken, Flanken, Flanken. Ich würde auch mal gerne ein Tor machen.
Jeder gerne einen rechten Schlägel. Ich wünsche mir 3 Monate Winterurlaub. Sonst komme ich gar nicht mehr zum Skifahren.
Was liegt so in Holland unter Weihnachtsbaum?
Ich hoffe, dass Holland bei der nächsten WM wieder dabei ist.
Wo ist der Weihnachtsbaum?
Okay. Further examples of original, refreshing or humorous content can be found here, back from the Europe League. Liverpool again, a few weeks before our home match against Liverpool, Jürgen Klopp broke his glasses while cheering with his players very, very hardly. And at the time, this was internationally reported by the media because it was a rare story that something like this happened. We took up the topic before our game and humorously provided a spare pair of glasses should something like this happen to Jürgen Klopp again. The next example shows a tweet of Gerard Piqué, world-class defender of FC Barcelona, in which he forecasts FC Augsburg in his season forecast as biggest surprise of the season. And we were absolutely flattered that such a great player knows us at all, and we took his appreciation as an opportunity to sign him symbolically. Our answer to the tweet of Piqué shows our manager, Stefan Reuter, with a finished jersey for Piqué, and the statement that we are always ready for a surprise. A story that, again, attracted a lot of attention and made our Twitter community and football all over the world smile. We then even sent him the jersey to Barcelona, of course, as a small present. Finally, I'll show you a best case of our retro match day, which was only a few weeks ago. A brief history for that. FC Augsburg was founded in 1907. So this year we celebrated the 111th birthday of the club, and we decided to celebrate together with our friends. There was a big birthday party, for example, on the 8th of August, the founding date of the FCA, and we shot a high-quality film, a documentary about 90 minutes, which has been shown in the cinema in Augsburg since this week, and a part of the anniversary was also the Retro Match Day on October the 20th. And the 20th of October is also a special date because it was the date on which FCA played the very first football match and is therefore special date. And this year we played against Leipzig on the 20th of October. So we put this match under the motto Retro to honor our history and our roots. The Retro Match Day was not only celebrated by many offline measures, for example our retro jersey, but only such as our retro jersey, but we also took a holistic approach to social media. You remember the 5 messages I told you and the values the FCA stands for, and we implemented all these messages on the Retro Match Day, so this is a good example for a best case. First message, FCA speaks the user's language, so we tried to announce the Retro Match Day, all the actions and the attractions of the Retro Match Day with a special content, with the use of Mario Kart, because it's a retro computer game, and of course a popular one. And explanation, every time Toad or Luigi in this case took up an item, we announce as an action about it. The individual actions are not that important, but I would like to point out to you that we always try to be creative. The 2 players you're about to see are Philipp Max, our assist king, and Daniel Bayer, our captain. Here we go.
Geil, ich freue mich auf das Retro-Trikot.
Was? Alle Sitzplätze kosten nur 19,07 €? Kommt um 11 Uhr zur Live-Musik vor dem Stadion.
Boah, ich glaube, unsere Fans machen eine richtig geile Choreo. Freut euch auf Gewinnspiele exklusiv für Mitglieder. Wo kommt der denn her hier?
Nein! Drück! Nein!
Ja! Glückwunsch, danke dir.
As already mentioned, we played a retro jersey on the Retro Match Day, which was based on the original one of 1907. You can see on the left side, the left one then and the new one. And this jersey was limited to 1,111, of course, and sold out immediately. So on the Retro Match Day, we raffled off the very last 11 retro jerseys via a competition. Everyone who posted a picture or a retro picture of the stadium or of the city or of themselves had a chance to win one of the very last retro jerseys. So with a price that could no longer be bought, and but which the users absolutely wanted, we created an incentive for interaction, user-generated content, and ensured FCA's reach. We have also designed high-quality graphics for the retro match day, such as the matchday poster or the comparison between the old and the new jersey, and everything, of course, also in the style of 1907. Keyword holistic approach, a tweet about our team went to the stadium with a bus from 1965. That wasn't a given that our team took part with this fun, but for the users it was something very special simply because something as this no longer exists in professional sports business today. We did a special retro shooting for the match day with our players and with the management on the basis of an original team photo of 1907. And on this basis, we built up the shooting and the jerseys, of course, and created, for example, this team photo, and we used that again to announce the official lineup on the retro match day. So we also used the players for goal graphics and autograph cards, everything, of course, in the retro look of that time. I've already shown you the retro bus in a short video, but the fact that our coach is so supportive and of the subject and gets off the bus like this with his retro cap, with a trench coat and his old suitcase, is also unique and has provided many laughs and positive feedback. Of course, we posted that again with the reference to an inspector, because he looks like an inspector or a detective, and the message that we have the coolest coach in the league. We have seen many examples of how we understand and implement social media at FCA. Finally, I would like to give a brief forecast on what we are planning for the future and what our next steps are. I showed you the values FCA stands for at the beginning of the presentation, and there are also topics for which we does not yet stand, or perhaps we do not want to stand for at all at the moment. We are not a trendsetter, we are not a pioneer, we are not a first mover, we don't do anything crazy to be the first. That wouldn't be FC Augsburg-like. With us, everything has its hand and its foot, and when we do something, we do it right. Of course, we want to increase our reach, and we work on it every day, but we are realistic that we will never reach the reach of the big players like Bayern or Dortmund or other big clubs, but we have found our niche as a small club, and even with creative and unique content can relatively large reach can be achieved. We don't have individual stars like maybe in other teams. With us, the star is the team, and we manage to annoy even the big ones with a small team, with passion, with cohesion and team spirit. What are the next steps? We want to continue to invest in content in and for our target regions, and we are focusing on this every day. We are working to increase our reach and are also growing in terms of personnel by hiring qualified employees for specific positions, e.g. our art director, or at the moment we are looking for a motion designer for high quality video content. And we want to drive our internationalization define target markets, and establish further communication channels in target markets, for example, here in South Korea. And yeah, thank you very much for your attention. 감사합니다. I hope this was pronounced well.
Good afternoon, everyone. We're going through the half of the conference. I think all of you deserve to relax a little bit and then loosen your muscle. And then you need to show a little bit of a smile on your face. I appreciate that. I hope everyone enjoying the conference 2018 Sport Industry Global Conference at the Park Hotel today. And Jacob and I are going to talk about how individual sports clubs utilize social media in their operations and promotions and other management and within the club. Jacob delivered a fantastic presentation, right? Agree? With a very interesting examples and episodes. I really give a point.
Thank you.
His presentation actually pointed out a couple of things, but I believe very important. The FCA putting a lot of effort on the quality content they create, which should be and can be very emotional and authentic and refreshing and humorous. So that's one of the unique aspects of their social media activation, and also it can be a very competitive advantage over their competing counterpart clubs within the Bundesliga. I figure I would jump in a very simple question. There are so many different kinds of social media platforms. You may, as you may released, Facebook, Insta, Twitter, Google+, Snapchat, and YouTube, and Giphy, you said in one of your presentation. And which platform do you care and your team, social media team, care the most, and why?
Yeah, that's a good question, and I think I cannot. There is no absolute right answer to it. I think you have to differentiate the channels, because video content, of course, we use YouTube, but of course also Facebook or Instagram. So we think about what platform could be best working for the content. If it's a longer video, for example, we choose YouTube, because there the watch time is much better than at Facebook, for example. At Facebook we usually post videos up to 1 minute, maybe less. And of course, you have to think about the target groups. So if you name Instagram, for example, this is, as I mentioned in the presentation, at the moment is one of the most important channels for us, especially in the young target groups, and the most fastest growing one. So yeah, Facebook, I think before Mark Zuckerberg changed the Facebook algorithm, I would have said that Facebook is the most important channel for us, but at the moment it's probably Instagram.
Okay, so it seems like you're focusing on Facebook because targeting young generation, and Twitter, Instagram.
Instagram because of the young generation, and yeah, Facebook of course too, but at the moment Instagram is the most important channel for us. But we Twitter, for example, is very important on match days, because yeah, I think you can post there every minute, so we use it for the whole for the whole match day editorial and of course under the week also. But yeah, I think there we deliver news to the fans and like a live ticker, and yeah, I think that's the differences between the various channels we have.
Okay, I forgot to tell you that this question actually was asked by Yun Heram, a student at Ewha Women's University. My second question, when social media came out, a lot of people liked it because it could remove the space between the clubs and the fans. From the fans' perspective, they want to know as much as possible, as much information as possible about the athletes and players, and then some issues within the club. And also, a club's perspective, they have very sensitive issues going on. They don't want to share every single piece of information with fans. They cannot sometimes, right? So I believe there must be some clear line, which information can be shared, when to share, and some information cannot be shared. Then how do you draw the line, and how do you find that?
Yeah, that's right. There are, of course, very sensitive areas at a professional football club. For example, the dressing room where the players are in half of the day, and where the meetings and the discussions take place. So there is something like a guideline which we work out with our management, especially the head coach, before the season starts, and which we tell the players, of course. So, for example, the doctor's room where the physios are, and which is a very sensitive area. We are not allowed to post something, and then we also care about the privacy of the players, of course. Maybe a recent example from Chi Dong-won. He became a father in the summer break, and we wanted to congratulate him on our social media channels, but yeah, he didn't want to, because he wanted to protect his privacy and his family, and yeah, we have to respect that. And of course, there are many other sensitive content pieces or sensitive content examples in a professional football club, but yeah, that's a minor of all the content we produce.
Okay, it's clear to me that you have some kind of manual or protocol and protect some privacy issues of the athletes.
We have also how do you call it, a penalty scale for if somebody hurts this regulation, he has to pay something into the pot of the team. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. By the way, when you going to give away your T-shirt? Yeah, your presentation is over.
When you want.
Okay.
So I saw that some answers came in here. Maybe you choose two of them.
Maybe end of our.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's say this is asked by Kim Son, a student at Kaemyeong University. He wants to know, maybe I don't know, he or she wants to know that the competitive advantages in terms of FCA's social media activation over other competing counterparts.
It's the third question.
Yeah. You wanna go over again, because I believe you present it and your answers actually can be seen from your presentation, but
yeah,
I wanna double check you can briefly answer.
Yeah, I think the question was that some clubs are dominating in social media, right?
Actually, that's the similar question, but this question asked by Kim Yoon-ho, a columnist. He asked about Bayern Munich is absolutely dominating in social media among Bundesliga, but do you see this as a challenge? Or what kind of strategies mid-sized club might have?
Yeah, as I mentioned in the presentation, yes, Bayern Munich is absolute top class in terms of digital reach. In the Bundesliga, of course, but also globally or internationally, we will never reach the size or the reach of them. But I think it's not a problem for us because I think in digital business we are multipliers. It's the same with our players, for examples. They are influencers. They're like influencers for us, and we are for them. So the same is it with bigger clubs or another media or clubs which has a huge reach. So I think we can learn from them, and we also try to start communication in social media channels, for example, before we play against each other, and so there's a profit for both sides. So we have to handle it. We cannot change it. We are a middle-sized club with a smaller reach than Bayern Munich, and therefore we have to even try harder to create unique ideas or unique content.
Okay, piggybacking your answer, how do you determine whether your social media team doing great job or not? Because there must be some kind of evaluation matrix, right? Do you simply count number of followers, number of likes button be hit? So how do you determine, how do you evaluate your whole activation and operational outcomes?
Yeah, of course, interaction rate is very important to us. We don't count it, but we analyze it. There is a we call it Club Media Report every month, where all our channels are reported. With each KPIs, of course, reach, interaction rate, comments, shares, likes, and so on. And on this basis, we have an overview about what worked well, what worked not so good. And on this basis, we try to develop and to produce our content, of course. But I think the good thing on social media is that you get direct feedback from the users and the fans. So when I post on Instagram or Facebook or Twitter, it's a real-time feedback. So there's 1 second, then the first comments come in, and of course that's also a first hint if something works well or not.
Yeah, you're actively interacting with the users, right? Very frequently. Yes. And okay, we have a limited time left, and actually I have 2 questions for you. Some of the audiences are, I believe, college student who wants to step in sport industry. And the last part of your presentation, your club tried to focus on internationalization, right? Internationalization.
We tried to.
So I just wonder if you have any plan to hire any Koreans within your club, because they love to hear from you. I know you're not, drug maker, decision maker. However, you can tell us kind of what's happening within the club. You have 2 Korean players, right?
We have 2 Korean players, and we also have Korean employees, I think, but they are working at an agency we are working with for our international channels. As I mentioned in the presentation, we use a global page on Facebook with Korean, English, and Japanese, and two of them are sitting in the audience today. They care about our Korean channels on Facebook, and we are also trying to grow and to increase our reach in Korea, because it's a target market for us. We have 2 Korean players in our squad, and if I can quote our manager, he said that that in the next years there will always be a Korean player in our squad. I think we have 1 or 2 also in the youth team. So of course Korea is a target market for us, both for the players, but also for growing and establishing social media channels. And that's what our next steps are, and what we are focusing at the moment.
I'm sure we have more than ready social media specialists here, so don't forget to pick our audiences if you have time. Appreciate. Okay, last thing. Do you have anything to say to Korean fans on behalf of your club? And actually, Kujachol and Ji-dong-won mentioned in Korean, how much he appreciate for the Korean fans. But do you have anything to share?
Yeah. First of all, I want to thank you again for the invitation. It was really a pleasure to be here, and I of course I asked Chi and Ku before I came here, and they told me only good things about Korea. So it's a very polite and very friendly country. I like it to be here, and I think the Ku and Chi also like to live and to play in Augsburg. So I would be happy about it if some of you will join our social media channels and give us a like, and I hope I can inspire could inspire you for FC Augsburg, because we're really I think a nice and sympathetic club in Germany. We are struggling against the big ones. Sometimes we win, sometimes we lose, but we are staying in the league for 8 years now permanently, and I hope you found it well. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. And then I have a lot of questions to ask, and also there's a list of questions. I mean, but unfortunately, 20 minutes are not enough at all, right? So, if probably I can request the organizing committee, you can ask this question to his email, so he can, you can answer some of the questions by email even after you leave Korea.
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Yeah, just don't forget to choose two of the right answers.
Which one? The audiences?
Yeah.
Ji-dong-won
because for the jerseys, yeah, it's the right solution was 35 goals.
Okay, so number one, one person says 21, next 35.
So 35, who is it?
35, the second one. Ji-dong-won scored 13 and Ku's 22, so
Yeah.
total 35. So
Who is the name?
Kang from
what is
big
the name?
fan of FCA. Who is
it?
this?
Come here.
Wow, congratulations.
So you like Ku or Chi more? Ku. Welcome.
Okay, there's one more. G13Q32. So can you scroll down a little bit, and
Yes.
then there's the same
I think
person.
there's the right one. There
There's a-
only stands 35, but I
Okay.
can read the Korean.
He said 한국 선수가 골을 넣고 세리머니 하다가 부상을 당했습니다. Very long answers. There's no number at all. Okay.
For sure.
35골이요. Who answered 35골이요?
Congratulations.
Okay. Congratulations.
It's G for you.
Okay. Thank you so much. I appreciate. Okay.
Thank you.